What is up, YouTube? SamsWorld here with another Star Wars reacts. We're actually gonna react to like multiple videos. I have some videos queued up on my history that like I wanted to watch. That's kind of what I do. Like I watch for a minute and then I like don't watch it. So like we're gonna react to two Lego Star Wars videos and the Star Wars size ships comparisons. Mostly because one, I've been really wanting to get a Star Wars ship tattoo again, and it might be on my back. Like I might get a whole ship on my back. I know I'm kind of crazy, but I really want it. Yeah, so we're gonna look at this one. I bought the most expensive Lego Star Wars sets.
And I'm gonna be trying to find out if these sets are hype or if they're bricked. Now with that said, Lego. Lego has come out with a lot of big sets, but none of them are as cool as the Star Wars ones. Like this ship that Lego just dropped, the Venator class Star Destroyer. So let's build.
Want it. But he did it!
Now I gotta admit, Lego killed it with this thing. The spaceship feels massive for 5,000 pieces and is crazy detailed. Like, I'll be honest, these engines don't even look like Lego, which shows how scary accurate it is. It also has some stickered pieces of these Republic logos and some other details. It also comes with a bunch of detailing on the side of it, which is called greebling, which is basically this made-up Lego term for really cool details that do absolutely nothing. And my favorite detail has to be the hangar bay section, which has this little micro-scale gunship, which is a small version of the gunship we're gonna look at in a couple minutes. Now I thought, you know what would be really cool? If I set up an entire clone army under that thing. That has to look epic, right? So I broke out my clone army and set them up under the Venator, and my gosh, does this look epic. That's gotta be at least $1,000 worth of plastic right there. So even though this set costs $700, I'm gonna say it's hyped. Like I said though, up next is the UCS Republic gunship, a $400 set, and I've got to say
That's
this
not
had
bad.
to be the most fun build of any Star Wars ship I've done. Most of these sets are kind of gray and collect a lot of dust, but this one is white and red, and it also is probably the most unique design of any of these because of how many curves it has. And also it has the same cockpit piece as a Jedi Starfighter. And also has some bubble turrets which were in the movie and come off kind of
I used to have the Anakin Starfighter. I should buy a Lego set and like build it on stream.
It also has like 3,000 pieces, which is great.
Would you let me know in the comments if you guys would be willing to see a stream of me building a Lego Star Wars set, because I'll fucking do that.
I'd still say the set is pretty hype. One of these big sets with great underrated minifigures is the Mos Eisley Cantina, which is based on that scene from Star Wars where all these cursed looking guys are at the bar. It also costs like $400, which would probably be enough for me to buy an entire water park. But Lego decided to make this thing into a set. It's loaded with minifigures, including some pretty disturbing aliens, like this guy who is that stupid Imperial spy from the Lego games that would keep opping on you when you were trying to.
Oh, I remember that guy, and he was going like, no, he'll make this weird noise when he'd come up.
Momo Nadin has this goofy head, and he's talking with some other aliens at this side build of a Jawa shop. You also get a minifigure scale wet bar with all the alcoholism you can dream of. There are also some sand troopers and this creature they ride called a dewback, but one of my favorite figures in the set has to be Satan. Actually, I changed my mind. It's this guy with a butt on his chin. But really, this is a super cool Star Wars set and has a lot of
That's funny as fuck.
Including this speeder and these other weird things. So I'm gonna say this set's also hype, which I mean, for $400, it honestly better be. This next one is the AT-AT Walker, and also my dog, who I named Franklin. This was a painful build because the legs kept breaking, and it had about 9 figures, which isn't exactly enough to load the 6,800 piece beast, so I got some snow troopers to load up, and speaking of, this set has 42 seats in it, so you can comfortably sit close to 90 minifigures. You heard that right, 90.
Holy
this
shit.
leg mechanism is wild. You have to use a screwdriver to move the legs, and I still have zero clue how this thing is currently standing. The coolest feature, in my opinion, is you can load these little speeder bikes from this rack, and they just drop down. And then
What
just
the
assume
fuck?
Whoever drops just survives the impact. Oh, also Luke's dangling from the bottom of the set again. Good job, bro. So for $850, is this set hype? Yes, but building the leg sucks. Now I'm gonna try to get a bit closer to the ground because we're gonna be checking out the Luke Skywalker collection. But before we go into our next epic set, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Temu. Listen guys, the holidays are coming up, and I suck at shopping, which is where our sponsor comes in. They have insane deals on a ton of things like YouTube equipment,
Never gonna
clothes,
shop on
wellness
that site.
plush, and
I'm
most
good.
importantly, a minifig display to help
That's like
collect
Wish.
custom minifigures. They're also ultra affordable and ship really fast in the USA. I'll be honest, looking at this site, I go nuts.
What do you mean by that?
So I will. So the first stuff I ended up ordering was some equipment for my YouTube studio. I got this light box, and basically this is a thing where you could take custom pictures, and I use it to take pictures for the thumbnails of these videos. And I also got this little camera, which I'm able to use in videos now in case I need an extra shot. This cool hat that's supposed to light up, this beautiful peach blossom set. Gotta say though, my favorite tab has to be the Lego drip tab. I can almost guarantee you will get ladies with all this beautiful clothing. And the most useful one has to be this sorter I got, so I can sort out all my Lego pieces. You can download the app now with my link in the description and get a $100 bundle and save some money, and also use my code DK4646 if that doesn't work and you'll get the same bundle. Thank you to Temu for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. First we got Luke's lightsaber, which fits in my hand well and does zero things other than look pretty. Oh, and also did I mention it costs about $180. We also got Luke Skywalker's helmet, which looks okay, not great, also bricked. Then we got Luke Skywalker's land speeder, which is a WC3PO minifigure, and some cool detailing on it. Like on one of the engine things, it has this really cool detailing. It's also 1,500 pieces, and comes with this absurdly large windshield piece, which would look dumb on anything else in literally every context. But for $240, I'm gonna say it's probably not worth it unless Luke Skywalker is your man crush, so it's bricked to me. Dang, Luke's gotta stop racking up these L's. And he has one more shot, because this next set is his X-Wing Starfighter. Now you might already know my answer to this because I already did a video about how excited I was to get this set, and it did not disappoint. It's obviously based off of his iconic fighter from the original trilogy and now the sequel
Oh, that's
trilogy
pretty cool, dude.
reason. And this set is legit. It is a feature to twist this knob and then the wings would just open up, but one thing I honestly don't get about it is that they put a minifigure sized R2-D2 in a not minifigure sized build. I mean, look how well Luke fits, let's be honest. Other than that, it's pretty legit. Everything else about it I love. So I'm gonna say this set.
Oh, that one's good. I'd get that one.
A while ago, and it's the UCS Star Destroyer set. And this thing is massive, with somehow only 4,700 pieces. They created one of the largest Lego sets ever, based purely on the space it takes up on my shelf. My issue is when you go to carry it, it's very fragile, and if any issues happen inside of it, when it breaks, there's nothing you can do. Which is why I threw it in my pool. So was it hyper bricked? I'm gonna say probably.
Why would you do that?
That thing gave me actual nightmares, and I will never forget that. Now our next set is a spaceship, and this is a spaceship that crashed into a bigger spaceship, causing that big spaceship to crash into the biggest spaceship of all time and then blew it up. More simply, it's an A-Wing, and it's called that because it's shaped like the letter A. And I actually like this one because it has a place to put Florida Man in it, so he could kamikaze into something. And honestly, it's just neat looking with the white and maroon contrast, and also has a
that is a nice I like the white and red stuff a lot. I'd even buy Luke's one just because it looks nice.
Which is the Mandalorian.
I have a lot of collectibles. You guys can't see them, but they're all above me. Maybe I'll make a video about them one day.
Build was also low-key really fun and took about
I have a lot of ideas that I have written down. Literally, I have lists, guys. Lists.
The set also has a bed, weapons rack,
a bed
with frozen bodies, and my favorite is the opening that you leave in the back and allows this goofy creature called a blurg to walk on into the ship. Also, this thing is way too top heavy because of the huge engines up top, which look insane, and I'm gonna say 6,000 pieces for $600 is kinda hype. And now this next $200 set is also the most popular Star Wars character of all time, except for maybe Darth Vader. It's R2 freaking D2. This was a wild set to build, and he comes strapped. He has this little shocky thing.
He comes strapped.
And an antenna that pops out.
He's ready.
That third leg that's poking out of the bottom of himself, and he looks like an absolute stud. Beautiful droid.
Oh, I love the hat.
There's some friends like BB-8, D-O, and a Porg, but I don't want to talk about them because they're all sequel sets, so instantly bricked. Except for Baby Yoda and BD-1. BD has a whole stim pack system and these movable and everything, and he's really hyped, and so is Baby Yoda. Both of them can vibe with R2. Now this next LEGO set may be the best LEGO Star Wars set of all time. And it's the Millennium Falcon. It's the ship that Han Solo and Chewbacca fly around, and costs $850. And it has some decent minifigures, but really it has the coolest LEGO build maybe I've ever seen. Barely fits on this table. If you compare this build to the actual ship, you can tell it's LEGO pretty much, but if you put it in a movie, it would feel completely in place there because it just looks that good. You get the drop-down turret, a cockpit, and a bunch of interior space to play hologram chess and hide under the floorboards. You also have the option to swap the radar dish.
That's super cool. If I had the space, I would totally fucking...
Let's be honest. What I like most about this thing is how you could just drop down the ramp and make it look like everyone's running into it to take off, because that was something you could never really do with the regular playsets. So other than R2-D2, this set may be most hype. A couple years ago, LEGO decided it'd be a good idea to make a toy that you could just put on a shelf and look at and does nothing. And these are the helmet sets. And there are a bunch, so here's a speed run. Boba Fett, hype. Stormtrooper, bricked. TIE Fighter pilot, hype. Scout Trooper, hype. Darth Vader, or as the box says, Darth Vader, bricked. Mandalorian, hype. Dark Trooper is extremely bricked for $70. Princess Leia is hype. Commander Cody is hype.
Oh, that's awesome.
Most hype out of all of them, and you cannot tell me otherwise. The reason you'd get these is because they would fit nice with other sets that are bigger, and I think they just help complement them and make those other sets look cool. Now let's move on to a bit more of an exciting playset. Next up is that.
This is a good video. I'm super interested because it's like I want some of these.
Death Star, and this has to be one of the most play feature packed LEGO sets of all time. So after dropping it and rebuilding it, I was able to take a full tour and see everything inside. The top half has a little droid workshop.
That triggered me.
Under the chair that you sit on that can move around Darth Vader's TIE Fighter in the hangar bay. And in there, there's also a little elevator to go down to the room below it with a cool claw mech. And there are even these doors in the hangar that lead to this laser room,
Oh,
which is controlled by a
okay.
mechanism
That's
above the
super
laser
cool.
to raise and lower that super laser. As you can tell, many of the rooms in this are very connected. And did I mention upstairs there's this boring meeting room to have a boring office where people can make boring decisions like
The fuck are those Legos?
blow up. And you could also determine, who to send to Death Star jail, but you can escape that Death Star jail using the garbage chute, unless it crushes you. The set's also loaded with a tractor beam, giant cannons, and a final duel room for some sick fights. And that all came in a $500 set with a load of minifigures, so I'd have to say this.
That's pretty hype.
Now these next sets are more Star Wars ones for adults, and LEGO's made a bunch of them. The Bespin Duel with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader to have their epic fight. Darth Vader's meditation chamber, which has a little claw that opens and closes. The probe droid, which is kind of always breaking, but looks epic. You also got the Death Star trench run with a mini X-Wing and a lot more greebling. And then the Dagobah Jedi training with a dirty droid.
Oh, that's
Yoda,
cool.
and Luke, where they're doing some force lifting. And then one of my favorites is the trash compactor diorama, which also crams everyone in. And you also get Palpatine's throne room, which is the best one because it has this big epic.
I have the pop of that.
Really sick looking. And then of course you also have the Endor speed.
I have the pop of that. Look at it. Hold on. Sorry, you're gonna see my messy bed. I literally kind of just woke up. I guess this will go in the video. These are most of my Star Wars ones. Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, General. I have Chopper in the back. There's a bunch of them up here and over there. Like I said, I'll probably make a video about them eventually, but I have the pop version of that, so that's cool. Like to see that in Lego form.
And the Executor Star Destroyer. And the thing I like about this one is when you remove a section, you can see all these studs which represent the different bounty hunters that were inside the ship. So I'm gonna go ahead and say all these sets are hype. Not one is bad. And lastly, we're going to be doing the most mega build of all time, Chewbacca. Now there's a lot of debate on if this set is bricked or hype, and I'm gonna have to build it to see what happens, but first I have to cop it. So I went to the Lego store and conveniently nobody bought it. So I ended up copying it and bringing it home. So get ready for the 10-second build montage. Alright, let's take a look. Now it has legs, arms, and torsos covered in these reddish brown pieces which are supposed to represent hair, and it actually doesn't look awful, especially the feet. And I'll go even as far as to say is the bowcaster and the bandolier look really, really cool. But the face, bruh, what is that? Okay, I'll be objective here, but I feel bad for LEGO because they have to make a really impossible decision because you cannot make anything in LEGO look like a human face. And don't talk to me about that Darth Maul bust. That does not look real. So I'm gonna guess this is probably the best they could have done, but it still feels so cursed and unnatural. So I'm gonna say the set has to be bricked. Either way, I wanna know which one was your favorite. Also, if you wanna watch one of these other videos, you can too. I'll see you on the
Okay, that video was cool. So now we're gonna head to the next one, which was this one. I'm really excited for.
From Star Wars with more than 500,000 Lego pieces. Honestly, it's one of the
Look at it!
craziest box I've
Holy
ever seen.
shit!
2 meters wide, 2.4 meters tall, and equipped with a lot of crazy building techniques to even enable these measurements.
Into the first galactic empire!
But let's start at the beginning. How does one even build such a crazy structure? We started by building 20 of these Technic T-frames and connecting them next to each other. You will get a circular structure, which is not quite common for Lego because Lego bricks don't really want to bend that way. But if you do it often enough and stack all of them on top of each other, you will get these massive black towers, which will be the basis of our Senate mock. Just see Hendrik here in the middle of it will give you a perspective of how big this mock is going to be. And now it's time to disguise this black madness.
Dude, this shit
We
is
did
huge.
that with these panels. These panels are supposed to be the entrance into each pot for each senator.
Misa!
From the movies, they stand in there and then they discuss about different political things. Of course, a lot of these panels had to be built, and before we could connect them to the structure, we had to connect the structure with each other, which was done by Toby, as you can see here in this time lapse. And now the panels were ready to be connected. But what about the most important part, the duel between Yoda or the speech of Palpatine? They all were held from this console in the middle of the Senate. This tower can be lifted up from Palpatine's office in the ground, and we also put these gray plates on the ground to symbolize kind of the bottom of the Senate. Very cool technique here too. A lot of bricks stacked on each other and laid down with this knot building technique. Repeated many times, and then we had this kind of circular shape. Next time we had to build the giant tower. As you can see, we started by using these brick modifieds for a basic structure on the inside. Afterwards, we took these quarter bricks, put them in each corner, and also put this connection of plates and slopes on the other parts of the tower. And if you repeat that often enough, you will get a very menacing black tower. On the top, I used these Mickey Mouse parts. They came in the giant Mickey Mouse set to end up the tower, and some more 2x4 tiles to represent the light coming out of
That's
Palpatine's
super cool,
tower.
dude.
But how about Palpatine's podium on top? Well, we had some special printed 6x6 quarter bricks to represent this shape where he stands behind, put them on both sides and connected them with some brick modifieds in the middle. And then we had some space for Palpatine to give his massive speeches. Last part was to figure out this blossom shape underneath the podium. Wasn't that easy. I had help from Christoph. He was also part of the project, and we used some ball joints and slopes, connected them around this round plate, and then we had kind of this angle that we aimed for. But while we built that, these bags were packed. They each contain one senator pot. It has to be connected to the framework I showed you earlier, and they are also built very nicely and have these giant blue pieces that you might recognize from the AAT set. They were built last weekend by the visitors of the JB Star Wars days in Oberhausen, Germany. Everyone who visited could build one of these sets and then equip it with their own minifigure to have it be connected to the Senate. We have two brick separators, also Padme and Bail Organa watching Palpatine, how he unveils the Galactic Empire, also the ET minifigures from the Dimension series. Little fun fact, they were actually in the Star Wars movie, but the diversity here goes even further and you can spend many hours just spectating the different people standing in the pots. But now I hope you're ready for the finished model. I had the honors of connecting the tower to the whole Senate in front of a lot of people. Then it was done. 500,000 pieces in the giant galactic Senate. I honestly didn't think
that's
it was
super
possible when I
fucking
first
cool,
heard
dude.
about the idea. But now it's so awesome to stand in the middle of this gigantic Lego build and to just embrace the spirit of it and enjoy the building techniques. For example, you can see here this slight structure of how the pots are going downwards, as you can see it in the movie, or the tower with Palpatine in the middle. This looks so much better than the CGI version they have in the movie, and here it is real. It's real. Another very cool look is from behind when you see the massive Technic structure here, and there were also some problems with the heat, because if you have that much plastic bricks on top of each other, it is possible that they get loose. That's why they tested the UCS Millennium Falcon in the sauna. Honestly, I'm very grateful to have been a little part in this giant project. You can view all of the participants in the info box below. Thank you for watching. May the force be with you. And now I'm going to...
This is why I love Star Wars, because it's like your love for Star Wars made you do that, and that's super fucking cool, bro. That's super fucking dope. And what else are we gonna watch? Oh yeah, Star Wars ship comparison theory. from Star Wars Theory, by the way. The B-Wing is a cool ship. Forgot about that ship. If I want a ship, I want it to be like a really big one if it's gonna be on my back so it's cool looking. That's like my issue right now. I wanted to skip forward because I wanted to see the bigger ones. The Acclimator is a good one because I want a ship that's kind of like this. A Ventador would be really cool too. That one. Yeah, the Ventador. Yeah, dude. The Venador. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry. That ship's cool too. Because I like the ones that are like this. That's a class destroyer. See, there's so many different ones. I really honestly don't know the difference between all of them. So I would love to learn. Oh, that's a cool one. The Star Destroyer. Imperial Star Destroyer? Oh. Damn. Oh, what the fuck? That shit looks huge. These get bigger and bigger, which is insane to me. Whoa. Okay. Haha, that's what the fuck. And then the Death Star. I forgot. Death Star 2. Then they're just gonna pan over, but those are the ships. That's really cool. I'm trying to get ideas. I'm trying to get new tattoo ideas. So this was that segment of that. Let me know what you guys think of some tattoo ideas for some ships for my back. And yeah, that was the video. Thank you all for subscribing. All the viewer suggestions. This shit's cool. I love this shit. And yeah, thanks. Later, guys. Have a good one.